Thanks, Adam, for jumping on the call, with myself. I just wanted to just pick your brains and maybe get a quick overview of Credit Hound Cloud, just for the benefit of some of our clients, because we get queries that come in from time to time, and it's nice to just give them a succinct, quick sort of video of the conversation and some screens as well, just to get the point across. So look, thanks for that. So look, just to kick it off, maybe you could give us a quick brief overview, what Credit Hound actually is.
Sure, yeah, no problem, Howard. So, yeah, Credit Hound Cloud, it's an automated credit control software. So it's designed for kind of cash flow and collections management. It's really to help our users work more proactively, reduce time consuming admin tasks while helping you manage things such as disputes, improve your cash flow, and ultimately get paid faster, amongst many other things.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, I can see those as being the main benefits. Now, look, the actual package I saw, it integrates not only with 50 and Sage 200 Professional, but I saw that it integrates with Sage 200 Standard as well. Is that correct?
It is, yeah. So there's two variations, which is probably important to point out at this stage. So there's a Credit Hound Cloud, and there's also a professional version, which is an on-premise version as well, and they're
Gotcha.
compatible with both versions of those Sage finance packages. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, look, can we have a look at just some of the initial kind of screens just to give people an idea, what's in front of them, as they're accessing the system.
Sure, yeah. If I just do that now and share my screen, hopefully you can see that.
Hmm.
So yeah, when a user would log on the cloud equivalent, this is what they'd be looking at when they sign on. So you get all these dashboards, as you can see on my screen here,
Yeah.
and all these are interactive and color coded as well. So you'd get the information here, which is showing you total debt, and that's all color coded. And so you've got green for not due, red for anything overdue, anything disputed be shown in yellow, and non-allocated, which could be something like a credit note, would be shown there in blue for you as well. So with it being cloud software, you receive automatic updates and notifications informing the user of any changes. So there's never any need for upgrades to newer versions, which is great news. Credit
Yeah.
Hound Cloud is all about giving that top level information to a credit controller, so you can see exactly what's happening at each point in time. And the key things for the controllers are the widgets, which you can see on my screen here with these dashboards. So it makes it really easy and simple to drill down from the view you can see on my screen. So all these widgets: who has my money, who would pay me last, any of the receivables, or any of these points at a time. We can click on these, and that's going to give that information to invoices, customers, depending on where you click.
Okay. So you have the benefit here for the likes of your credit controller. You can jump into these things, but I can see the benefit here, for instance, obviously, if it's administration management, they obviously want a view on the cash flow.
Yeah, massively. So that's something that it's all visible for the end user. The software is designed, and best way that I often describe it when I'm doing these type of demos is it's like a CRM solution. So the user can add notes that's all accessible across the departments, and it gives the ability to create account level and transactional level notes. So it doesn't really matter who's logging in, they can see how up to date those notes are. So the
Gotcha.
solution has its own emailing client as well, which means that when we send an email out, it'll show things like when it's been delivered, when it's been opened, how many times it's been opened, and your end user won't be able to see that, which is, can be really handy. So any
Yeah.
responses will be shown in Credit Hound, meaning the credit controllers not needing to flick to another emailing system, say Outlook or anything like that, which is really good.
Gotcha. And I can see obviously you can build your own rule system here. Are there rules that you can apply around specific customers, debts, that kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly that. So how the system works on the cloud equivalent is things like collection paths, and we send emails out. So basically what a collection path is, by clicking on here, it allows you to automatically contact your customers by email when invoice payments are outstanding. So they can be figured to say, send a gentle reminder. If I just
Hmm.
kind of show you here on email templates, and that could be when, say, an invoice is about to become due, or a stronger worded email when, invoices are due and you say you're collecting something over 120 days and perhaps you need to be a little bit more assertive. So the solution has all that to hand. Yeah.
Very good. And obviously can you assign tasks to the specific user following the death and showing the history of what sort of emails, communications have gone out?
Yeah, exactly that. Most people are familiar with kind of Microsoft or Outlook or another email platform, and this pretty much works the same as you can see me hovering over the task icon here. So after emails or calls have been had, follow-ups are often required, and tasks will show exactly how to do that. So it goes out and we can see how it's gone, where it's visible in this task section here. And you'll have alert section as well, which I'm just hovering over this bell icon, similar to what you'd be used to with any kind of social media platform, Facebook, LinkedIn, when you'd get a red 1, 2, depending on the messages. That kind of really acts as an inbox, and you use your tasks and follow up from there. If you do receive a payment, and you've tasked or scheduled something in, whether that's a call or an email, and we receive a payment beforehand and we schedule that, say, like in a week in advance, that task will automatically be removed with the solution. So it's very
Oh,
intuitive.
very good. And is there any, like, if a payment has been received, do you do it through here? You do it through Sage 50, or is that the way it's normally done?
Yeah. So with the solution, it's probably worth mentioning that there's never any need, with it being a cloud-based solution, there's never need to read any of the data. So anything that you put in there will automatically go into Sage for you as well. So it alleviates any problems and time-consuming exercises such as that.
Very good. So you have your tasks, you have your scheduled emails there as well. So you obviously have like I mentioned earlier on, you have some form of workflow tree for categorizations of how you follow up, is it?
Yeah, exactly that. So you could create your own collection paths here, and it's just as simple as ticking that on and off, and all your customers will be shown in that. So anything in red, it means that collection path isn't active, or if it was green, then you've got that set up at the minute. So it's really up to you how that collection paths look, and what we tend to do in the demos is talk through what the customer's requirements are, what they're looking to do. An example being that you may want to send an email out to all clients when it's, say, 10 days after the due date, and that way it's an assertive email seeking payment with all the information, such as like a transactional table, and this will automatically put the data in, which can be really good and easy for a customer. Say if he was querying an invoice or multiple invoices, all that information would be to hand. We can add solutions to it, such as a pay them functionality as well, which is kind of Drace's own payment link, or you can use your others. And the idea of that is just you can receive instant payments, and it's just a method of getting quicker payments from your end users.
Gotcha. You might just take us give us a look through the individual tabs just to sort of get a feel for it as well. So that you saw the dashboard there, very good. And obviously these are all hyperlinked as well to jump into the relevant transactions, are they?
Yeah, all interactive. Yeah, so you can drill down into each one of these. So just say if I wanted to look at who has my money and was looking at this customer, for example, and that's going to drill us down right into the customer details here. We've got the
Very good.
invoices, we've got the credit notes. We can see again they've got the color coded here. If we wanted to log an activity from here, then
Yeah,
that's fine to do so. We've got all the activity on the right hand side here. And we also have a new feature that's been added, which is you can get credit reports as well. So really good for, say, new customers. If you wanted to check debt, bad reports, that's going to highlight all that for you as well. So you're going to get all that information.
very good. So that's effectively a timeline on the right-hand side that you had for that particular customer, was it?
Exactly that. Yeah,
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 gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if we just kind of go across it, we've got the invoices and customer layouts. If we wanted to look at a particular customer with them, we've got that information here. We've got the ability at any point with Credit Hound to export to Excel as well, should we ever need to do that information. But yeah, by clicking on each customer, exactly that. We've got the activity, we've got the kind of the date stamped. If there's multiple credit controls within the business working, then we can see who it was created by. If there was an escalation that needed to a certain point or a certain value, then that'd all be labeled an icon there. So really good if people are part-time or perhaps on holiday, that's
So,
beneficial.
so, so one of the questions I would get is, and I know it happens in our company as well, is that if you have a credit controller chasing a particular debt and it bounces back to the individual sales rep, because one of the big things that we get a call for is that when we're trying to sell sales type tools to the actual clients, one of the things that they like to be able to do is to provide a debtors list effectively unique to the specific representative who sold the items in the first place. So just before I let you speak on that, you know, we spoke about the type of people that would access this system. A salesperson then, you know, prior to actually calling into a client could actually just see the actual history here and effectively understand the kind of narrative that they're going to talk to the client about, you know, to address certain issues before, you know, trying to chase that order as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that. Is, you know, it's a very good point that you make there. So yeah, they get that kind of top level high information there that's giving them that information in just a couple of clicks. It's making it really easy and simple to drill down from the view that you can see on my screen or from the dashboard when you log on. You're not necessarily now, I guess there's a commercial consideration where if you was to take Credit Hound, you don't necessarily need a Sage license as perhaps you did before. So there's a potential big saving to be had because this is licensed on the Credit Hound license opposed to using your old version of Sage, which can be quite costly and add up depending on the amount of Sage licenses that are needed.
Yeah, so like I'll give you an example. So the small anecdote, I was out with a customer previously and they were looking for dashboards to go along with say the sales tool. Now the interesting thing is that if you're providing something like Credit Hound in the actual cloud, our clients would have tablets, for instance, where they're taking an order directly on their app, but they could effectively set this up on their browser so that they could take a
Yeah,
tour through the actual client beforehand, right?
exactly. Yeah. So it's gonna allow you to do that. So yeah, it's a good point made that, Howard. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know business owners like to knuckle down on their actual reps and their clients and what they need to chase depth wise as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we've tried to make this as easy and you know, there's not too much in terms of the back end stuff. It's all point and click kind of technology, so we can see that information. It's really simple, nice and easy to use. For example, I've gone onto the invoices here, and this is kind of what's going to be making your life a lot easier, whether that's the credit control or anyone internal, because
Mm.
what we can see here is visible on the screen is kind of what's defaulted, but you can tailor to suit the business needs and what you're kind of looking at. Or if you want to lock that down in a certain way, then that's absolutely fine to do as well. Yeah,
Yeah, and that would be a question because if we're talking different user roles, then they'd all have different reasons to access the information. So, you know, yeah, I assume you can tailor to specific user requirements as well.
exactly that. Yeah, you can.
Sorry, I interrupted you as you were going through the screen, so I think we stopped you at customers. So maybe you take it from there.
Yeah, so if I was looking at customers, so this is where, again, if we can point and click on any of these customers that we needed to. So if I was going to Euro trading, for example, then the idea of this, of the notes and history are added here and included in each invoice. So it makes it really easy to see what's been said to each customer during that conversation, if there was any follow-ups, any promises agreed. So the idea here is you get a full audit trail, but you're showing the balances and credit limits, transactions, and using kind of the color coding, you know, the green and the red, and we can see exactly the amount, what's outstanding, any particular next action. If we wanted to go over to any disputes, there's not one on this customer, but that would be highlighted there as well. And if
Yeah,
we wanted to log an activity, it's just simply pressing that button. And again, because all the information is being gleaned from your finance package,
yeah,
we just point and click who we're on the phone to. So point and click exercise. What was said, information there. Let's pretend that on the phone call someone said the invoice is not in the system, or it could be anything such as the checks in the post. And the idea is, as you can see me typing there, is where you would add your notes. So I guess if it's a checks in the post type scenario, it would be, well, how was it sent? How much was it for? Was it for the full amount? And then the idea of that would be you could create a follow-up task.
very good.
Any further notes? You could be a little bit more thorough and say, well, if today's date were on the phone between me and you, Howard, and it's Tuesday, but you've promised me to send second class, so I know that, say, by Wednesday, it should really be there. We could put a time if we knew that the credit controller's time was a little bit more structured. So if
Yeah,
say we
yeah,
wanted to, at 12 o'clock is when we chase all our, if we chased all our debts, we could assign that to ourselves or to someone else within the business.
very good.
And we've created a follow-up task there just in a couple of clicks in the button, and we can preview that how it look. And then that, by pressing save, is what we've shown earlier to the tasks there. That's going to be shown in there. And if we do get If we do get payment within that time, that's automatically going to be removed from task to avoid any unnecessary conversations.
Excellent. Yeah, it's all very intuitive and very easy to sort of see on screen, particularly logging it. I mean, if you're accessing it as any particular type of user, there's nothing finicky there. You can jump in, put in whatever the activity is, and then move it along effectively.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. Yeah. So that's pretty much kind of the customer side. There's an age receivables, pretty self-explanatory. You know how that works. You know, you've got your 30, 60, 90, 120 days. Again, there's all filtering as there is with all options here and across the dashboard. If we need to export that Excel, we can do. If you're a business that uses multi-currency, then good news, the software has the capabilities to handle that. Equally, if
Right.
it's multiple companies, it's just point and clicking where mine says UK demo company here. You'd click on that. And when we've got my company option there, you just have the list of companies which would set up in configuration. So yeah, all the information's there for you.
Very
We
good.
touched on collection path, but maybe just to show you a little bit more
Yeah,
context of what I
please.
mean by that. So you could call that what you wanted to. So kind of in a Blue Peter style fashion here. If we had
Yeah,
problem payers, what that would mean. So let's pretend that our problem payers in this hypothetical scenario is anything over 50 days. We may want to just chase a little bit more aggressively. So 50 days chase. You could schedule that from um, a set or fixed day. And what we really mean by a collection path, it's allowing you to automatically contact your customers by email when invoice
gotcha.
payments are outstanding. So that can be configured to, gentle reminders when they're about to become due, or stronger worded emails, which an invoice is way overdue, which we're going to kind of do here.
Yeah,
And all you'd really do here, Howard, is you could add filter options. So it may be considered bad form, anything under £10, you may not want to chase your customer. Or
yes,
equally,
very good.
anything in over, say, £100,000 might be considered on a different collection path because that's
Yeah,
a little bit more urgent to the business. And again, pointing and clicking, we could say that the first problem payers is anything 10 days before the due date. We're going to send a preemptive reminder. And that
very
email
good.
template that was shown before has got the information. We can see exactly in blue here where that information's been gleaned and ascertained from, that's been pulled from Sage, from the finance package. We had an action. Let's do two more. So let's say for this problem payers that now on the due date, we're going to send a mildly overdue. It's going to pull that template for you. You can add and tweak these templates should you need to. And then one more, because I could go on all day here, that let's say that 50 days. Oh, sorry. Problem payers, let's call it the right thing. That 50 days after the due date, we're going to
Very good.
schedule a call. Now that's going to add a task in our diary that anybody under them rules and actions that we're going to give them a call of 50 days that they've not paid, and then it's just a matter
Excellent.
of pressing this green button here, Howard, and that's good. That's going to be saved. It's
That's
in,
very quick.
yeah, pretty straightforward. So yeah, and it's just a matter of turning that on and off should you need to. You can go down and kind of a customer level basis. So if you wanted anyone out of the collection path or the chase cycle, then it's just a matter of pointing and turning them
Very
from
good.
green to red. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, well, that's all very intuitive. I mean, I can't the and I always see this kind of stuff as it's just better relationship management here effectively, and in fact, it's nearly like a credit control CRM in
Yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
actually doing here, because as a sales Sage CRM, we get people who are asking for us to use it for that particular purpose when maybe that's not the case. Maybe you should look at this instead, because that's more what they're actually leaning toward, to be honest. So it's, yeah, I mean, it's yeah. Is there anything else to sort of stand out that you'd want to point out before we finish off?
No, I think we've covered, most bases on there. If anyone had an interest of it, I'd be happily show, your customers a demo of how that works. What I'd probably summarize on is it's this really is designed as on what we've kind of come up with here. It's really about focusing on what we're seeing as a reactive process until I
Yes,
make it a more
yes,
proactive approach. So
yes. Got it.
it's kind of getting up that proverbial ladder, so to speak, just to get the payments quicker and rival these other companies that are perhaps using Credit Hound or a solution similar to that, because they're shouting the loudest or they're a little bit more structured in their approach. And we find a lot of success from doing that. So if you was to go onto our website, or things I can share is, we've got things like returning investments, which just show kind of how that helps in terms of reducing money that's owed to the businesses. So yeah, it's a really easy tool to justify kind of how much it pays for itself.
Well, I mean, what I would say is anybody who is watching this particular video is, to get in touch. I'll leave some contact details here at the end. We can arrange a more one-to-one demonstration. We can go through what way the onboarding, takes place and the process of that. And of course, look, I know that Dracer have other products there that can, assist in using even even the likes of Credit Hound here. Like, for instance, I saw your Pay Now button on the actual email templates in order for people to make payments directly from the
Yeah,
actual email. So look, if anybody's interested in looking at that, they can start by contacting me at howard.murphy@dbcomp.ie, and I can give you an introduction to Adam. We can do a one-to-one demonstration and take a look and see what it is that you actually need. So look, anyway, that's exactly what I was looking for from you, Adam. I really appreciate the time you're taking out to just give us a quick overview of that. So look, I'll talk to you soon, and hopefully we'll talk to others who are looking at the video after this. Thanks again.
no problem. Brilliant. Cheers. Thank you.